Alexa way. So if you just happen to miss your favorite shows, no worries. You can now listen to each podcast with Alexa. It's simple and it's free. Just visit afr.net/apps and click Alexa. We're not joking. It's First Time Caller Day on Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840.
It is first-time callers, so start lining up, folks. If you've never been on the show with us, today could be your day.
So first-time callers only today. Now we're going to ask 3 questions each.
The quack of a duck does not produce an echo. Is that true or false?
That falls under the category of it's just wrong.
Yes.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trivia Friday here on American Family Radio. Thanks for listening to AFR. Today's Friday, October the 6th, in case you were wondering. Joining me in studio is Ed Vitagliano. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Tim.
JJ Jasper.
Great to be here. Just heard that 90% of people who are bald still own a comb. They just can't part with it. They just can't part with it. And I get that. Hey, my friend Jake.
You need to part with some of these jokes.
My friend Jake sent that to me, so I'm not going to take all the criticism for that.
Jake,
is
there more? Is there more where that came from?
Well, my friend Jody, he sent me a dad joke with instructions. You talk about a double blessing. He said, "What do you call a chicken looking at a piece of lettuce?" It's chicken Caesar salad. He said you have to say the Caesar very slowly.
So people,
chicken sees her salad.
Sees her. Yeah. I got you. Okay.
So if you get dad jokes with instructions, boy, that's the reason I get up every morning. Dad jokes.
Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. Thanks for joining us. We're going to open up the phone lines for first-time callers. First-time callers only today. Is that correct, gentlemen?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
That is correct.
So if you've never gotten on the air with us, here's your opportunity to ask a trivia question and answer one of ours. The phone number is as follows, 888-589-8840.
What's that number again,
I
Tim?
said 888-589-8840.
Now, we do need to clarify.
Do we?
That if you have called, you can call back.
Yes, you can.
But if you've called and gotten on, you have to wait a week. So it's first-time callers who have never been on the show with us.
I'll just say this. I'm just going to warn you. If you're trying to trick us and you have been on the program and you're trying to say that you're a first-time caller,
right?
That emergency alert will go off.
On your phone.
On your cell phone, just like it did on Thursday.
Well, that's why they were testing it, just for that reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't try to sneak in under the wire. Under the Trivia Friday wire.
All right, so what else do we need to tell folks?
Well, we can tell folks that if you want to watch the program, we do have a live video stream, and you can access it in a couple of ways. You can go to Facebook, search for Today's Issues. That's actually the name of this show, Monday through Thursday. We call it Trivia Friday on Fridays, but search for Today's Issues on Facebook, and you can click through and watch us, or you can go to our own streaming platform, streaming.afa.net. And I'm looking at Brett Creeley. We are on YouTube now, right?
Yes, sir. We're on YouTube now. All they have to do is go to YouTube and search for Today's Issues Live.
Today's Issues Live.
And they will find our streaming service, our
right.
streaming.
So you
for
can
now.
So 3 ways they can watch the show.
That's right. And so you can look at our lovely faces. Or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. If you want to look inside the studio here, we're waving at everybody as it's Trivia Friday on American Family Radio.
Finger guns. That's going to drive liberals crazy.
Did you say something about the...
I have not. I was going to throw that to JJ.
Go ahead, JJ.
We have a mystery question.
Well, we each have 3 questions. One of our original 9 questions is a mystery question. If you land on that question and answer it correctly, you'll hear this sound.
Beloved
cowbells. And that means you win yourself a nice stainless steel AFR tumbler.
And Tim is balancing that tumbler on his head. Folks, you might want to watch the live streaming because we got later on monkeys riding dogs, right?
We'll have the dancing beer, the Luigi tumblers, the Luigi singers right here for a really big Trivia Friday shoot.
You won't regret it.
Stainless steel travel mug.
Yeah, it's really nice. Hey, and if you don't win today, you can actually purchase this. I cannot believe I'm saying this. Christmas right around the corner.
Wow, that's true.
And so stocking stuffers, some of these, if you have some AFR fans, some Trivia Friday fans in your family, this would be a nice little stocking stuffer. And we've got books, DVDs, all kinds of things at
go
our store.
resources.afa.net. Resources.afa.net. You can check that out. And by the way, as JJ said, we've got all kinds of educational, biblical resources available at resources.afa.net, and not just the fun stuff like the travel mug.
Since I'm in commercial mode, and you didn't ask me to do this, next week is our fall share-a-thon. 2 times a year, 3 days each. We simply remind you that we're listener-supported. We don't get taxpayers' money. We don't get government grants, and we honestly rely on God's goodness and your generosity. So next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, our fall share-a-thon, and we just want to say thank you in advance. Please pray for a successful share-a-thon.
Amen. Amen.
All right, Ed, what do you got, my friend?
All right, here are my 3 questions, and these happen to be all entertainment related. You say, how does that happen? Well, when I find a page with a lot of good trivia, I just start writing stuff down, and these were all entertainment related. Here's the first one. The famous Hollywood hillside sign actually had a different name when it was first erected in 1923. What did it originally say? Now it says
Men
Hollywood.
at work.
YMCA. What did it originally say? The second question. On the TV sitcom My 3 Sons, how many sons did Father Stephen Douglas originally have on the program? On the TV sitcom My 3 Sons, how many sons did Father Stephen Douglas originally have?
Stephen Douglas had many sons. Many sons had Stephen Douglas. I think we sang that song.
Yep.
VBS, right? It's a staple.
Question number 3.
Vacation Bible School.
Yeah.
Yeah, staple, yeah.
And it's weird. You guys, I don't know, JJ might not have. You certainly grew up with Vacation Bible School.
We did as well.
Didn't.
In Boston,
Yeah,
they didn't have that. You'd never heard of it?
I didn't go to church.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't that song, Father Abraham, I have it on my iPod now because I
didn't
did
go
not.
to church as a child at all, except for you went to Christmas and Easter, right?
3 times in my life. That was it growing up. Not Christmas, that was Easter only.
Look how the Lord rescued you.
Yes.
Ed. I mean, that's a huge testimony right there. A lot of people in the South were not just in the Bible Belt; it's the buckle of the Bible Belt. And it's almost like church saturation. And here you went 3 times in your life. I've known you over 30 years.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, no church growing up.
Wow, thank you, Lord.
Amen. Third question: by episode count, what was the longest running live action sitcom in American history? By episode count, so not number of seasons. By episode count, what was the longest running live action sitcom in American history? That's what I've got.
Here's what I've got. First question, what is pickled cabbage commonly called? What is pickled cabbage commonly called?
Delicious.
Second question, the second Monday of October is Columbus Day. This coming Monday, Columbus Day. We know in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. I want you to name the 3 ships in his fleet. Name the 3 ships in Columbus, the wooden ships there in his fleet. Third question, true or false? I've got a lot of Columbus trivia since Monday is Columbus Day.
And you two got stuck on the same page, right? Like, yeah.
No, I got a variety,
right?
but I got several Columbus since it only comes around once a year. This is true or false. Christopher Columbus was not his real name. The name on his birth certificate is Cristoforo Colombo, and he was also referred to by himself and others as Christovam and Christophorus. Is that true or false? Who knew he was an Italian rapper moonlighting as a Christovam and Christophorus. Christovam in the house. Now
Raise the roof.
Here's a question again. Christopher Columbus, not his real name. Name on his birth certificate, Cristoforo Colombo, also referred to as Christovam and Christophorus. Is that true or
birth
false?
Certificates in the 1500s?
Well, maybe not. If this depends on if it was true or false. Written on
Yes,
parchment.
I got it.
Yeah.
Something.
I also
so-
listen. I had his collectible card, like
Is that
baseball
right?
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
World
it's
famous
stats.
Yeah,
explorers.
explorers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Had all that information on the back of the card.
Now,
All right.
didn't you lose those along with that Homer Wagnus card you had?
That's right. If I'd kept those, buddy.
You used them you put them with the clothespin on the spokes of your Schwinn. Or you guys didn't have Schwinns in Boston.
We didn't.
I'm just throwing that out there because you missed out on so much.
Yeah.
Y'all ready for me to give my questions?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, my questions are as follows. Number one, the largest metropolitan areas in the United States for the 2022 census. Number one, New York City area. Pardon me. Number two, Los Angeles. And number three, Chicago. Okay, so
No surprises there.
no surprises. That's been that way for a long, long time. Now, I want to know the fourth and fifth largest metropolitan areas in the United States, and they are the only other two that rise above the 7 million mark.
Interesting.
So New York is like 20 million, 19.5. Los Angeles, again, the metropolitan area.
Right.
Los Angeles, 12.8, almost 13. Chicago, 9.2, 9,200,000. And then there are two metropolitan areas that are in the 7 million range, number 4 and number 5. What are they?
Oh,
Okay.
excellent.
Number
question.
2, my second question. Texas, University of Texas and University of Oklahoma play this Saturday in football. And out in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl, I want to know, what is this game known as and why? What is the game? What is Texas v. Oklahoma known as and why?
Good question.
And that's this Saturday. They play
Fall
tomorrow.
football.
They play tomorrow. Number 3, what state produces the most cherries? What state produces the most cherries? All right. So let's go to the phones, Ed.
All right. We're going to go first to Missouri.
Mo,
I just like saying that.
like Mo?
Big M-O. And Lee is on the line. Lee from Missouri. Welcome to Trivia Friday.
Good morning, guys. How are you doing today?
Pretty good, Lee. Thank you for calling. Where do you live in the Show Me State?
I live in Farmington, so I'm about 70 miles south of St. Louis, kind of like down in the Ozarks.
Gotcha. But you're far away from carjacking country, right?
We try to be, yes.
Wow.
It's a growing
that's
sport,
bad.
though,
I'm
so
sorry.
No, I'm just saying, when you said that, I thought, how have we sunk to this where we're talking about carjacking as a regular part of American life in major
Hey, I love St. Louis.
I should get started
I've
on
been
that.
to St. Louis
Yeah.
20 times over my life, especially to watch the Cardinals play.
Yeah.
But
What a shame. It's just
I'm
a
just
shame.
saying that these big cities now that we've all
Yeah.
grown up with are now turning into very dangerous places.
I went and picked somebody up in Memphis, Tennessee, and I was picking him up at the airport at 11 o'clock at night. And right when I was leaving, I told my wife, I'm going to take a pistol with me because I don't want to get, I let them have the car.
Right.
I don't want, anything to happen beyond that.
Right.
So
Depends on the car to me.
Some cars are worth fighting over.
you know
Just
what?
saying.
That is a man with a great relationship with his insurance company. You talk about having an insurance man that you care about. Hey, look, I'm not going to let anything happen to your money and my
Yeah,
car.
that's
So
right.
Trust
Hey, Lee, ask or answer both.
Well, I was going to do both, but boy, the questions today, I'm getting older, and I'm like, I can't figure none of those out, and I don't want to cheat by looking it up. So I'll just ask a question then.
Okay.
All right. First of
So-
all, Lee, we do want to encourage you next time you call in. We're fine with research, so it's not cheating. If you want
Well,
to,
I know.
yeah.
I
But
know,
I mean-
but I it's good for me. It makes my old brain work.
There
so
you
it's
go.
all right.
Well,
All
go
right.
ahead, fire away,
So-
brother.
So since we've been talking about cars and carjacking, in 1948, I was going to ask a Bible question, but since we talked about the cars, I'll go this way. In 1948, there was a American man that made some cars, and there was a limited production, and Detroit and the U.S. government jacked him. They carjacked him and shut him down on his production. So there was only about 50 or 51 made in 1948. What was that car, and who was the man that made it?
Boys, I'll take this since
Okay.
I'm a car guy. It was the Tucker, remarkably made. It had along with the regular headlights, it had a headlight in the middle, and when you turned the wheel, the headlight turned with it. And it had so much technology, but they piled on and used politics and put him out of business. His name is Tucker, and the car was Tucker.
Wow.
Yep. Preston Tucker. Yep, you're right.
Well,
Hey, there
good,
was-
good on JJ, man.
Hey, there was a movie.
That's right.
Yeah, there's a. I've seen them. I haven't seen the movie.
What was
I've
that
seen
actor
it.
that was in that movie?
Who's the Sea Hunt guy? Baby boomers know the sea.
Oh, it's Bridges.
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 Yeah, that was
Jeff
his-
Bridges, though.
Yeah,
Jeff
that's
Bridges.
That's
Yeah.
the son of that.
He's the
Sea
star
Hunt.
in Tucker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
and then I think Lloyd Bridges played his dad. I think he played the senator.
Oh, okay.
Well, and
Wow.
the Hey Lee, the Tucker car, Tupelo, Mississippi, had the largest automobile museum east of the Mississippi River, and we had a Tucker there.
Wow.
So I've actually seen one. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why did they
There's
why
one-
did they pile on and put them out of business?
The short answer is some of the big three got with their senators who they owned and had them in their pocket. Hey, you got to come up with some regulations. The fire extinguishers aren't high enough on the wall, this or that. You got to shut him down. And who knew that politicians could be crooked and there could be a two-tiered
Yeah, right.
system of justice? So they just put him out of business just because of the ones that, big campaign donors,
Money and influence.
money and influence, and they put him out of business.
Wow.
Yep.
All right, Lee. Hey, excellent question.
Yeah,
Good
way
on
to start us
JJ
out.
for knowing it. And brother, have a good weekend. Okay.
Okay.
All right, we go next to Texas, and Patrick is on the line. Patrick, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Thank you. Good morning, professors.
Good morning, Patrick. Thanks for calling, brother. Where you live in Texas?
Waco.
Okay, wonderful. Listen, thanks for
Hey,
calling.
you know what Waco stands for?
What does it stand for?
We ain't coming out.
Okay.
Hey, in the home of the Texas Rangers, of course, Baylor, and Dr. Pepper was founded there. They actually called it a Waco. They'd ride into town and say, "Give me a Waco."
Huh.
Yeah, but
and
they changed
and
the
the
name
home
to,
of Curves International.
That's right. Then they changed the name to Dr. Pepper.
Wow.
But you
That'd
knew
been
you
some-
knew all that,
that'd been
right,
some good
Patrick?
Trivia questions.
Yeah, yes, I did. Also, it's Steve Martin's hometown as well.
I didn't
that
know
right?
I
that.
mean, the actor Steve Martin?
Yes.
Is there another one?
Well,
I'm going to say
well,
yes. I'm gonna
point
say
taken.
yes.
Point taken.
Ronald
but
Reagan.
I
you mean the president?
Imagine,
All right.
Ronald
I
Reagan,
guess
the
I
actor.
deserved. I guess I
well,
deserved
imagine
that.
if your name
but
is Ronald Reagan and you're a farmer or you work at a factory. How many times a day do you have to hear that?
I just didn't
My
know
name's
that.
Ronald Reagan. Sure it is.
I just didn't know that Steve
Listen,
Martin
I
was
have a
from Waco,
reputation.
Texas.
I have a reputation as a smarty.
You're going to get in trouble
to-
if your
to
mom's
uphold
listening.
here.
You're
Yeah.
in trouble
Oh, look,
because
you're
she
getting
gets on your case. For,
my
right.
my daughters are saying they're cheering because they think sarcasm is their spiritual gift.
I'll say, listen, I'm actually appreciative. That was funny.
Yeah,
That was good.
Patrick,
Good work.
Ask, answer, or do both.
I'll do both.
Which one you want to answer?
The Hollywood sign question.
All right, here it is, Patrick. Here's the question. The famous Hollywood hillside sign actually had a different name when it was first erected in 1923. What did it originally say?
It said Hollywood Land.
Hollywood
And
Land.
It was, It was erected by a gentleman who wanted to create a subdivision, a suburb of LA called Hollywoodland.
That part I didn't
You know,
know.
I've seen pictures of that. You know, when they were first developing that and and motion pictures began to,
Yeah.
you know, become more popular. I've seen that sign. I thought I saw the sign that said Hollywoodland.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's right. It was going to be a subdivision, so it was a marketing ploy. And have you guys ever gone up there on that hill to stand up there and get a picture and see how
No.
those
I've seen it, but
letters are so high? Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy tall.
Oh, you've done that.
I've
then.
done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Patrick, bring it, brother.
Okay. Now, I'm going back a little ways on this one, but what do the DJ Alan Freed, who invented the term rock and roll, and Johnny Weissmuller have in common?
All right, Johnny Weissmuller. Okay, we're going to talk amongst ourselves,
Yeah.
Patrick, so don't say yes or no. So Johnny Weissmuller.
Now, here's the deal. He was the first, man that had that, beat on his chest and swam.
Tarzan?
Yeah, he was the first Tarzan, I think.
On TV.
I think he was, but he was also a swimmer.
Yeah,
he was an Olympic swimmer. So I'm wondering if this DJ was in the Olympics or something.
Well, now you're thinking that. I'm thinking about a couple of those guys that got together and came up with the Disco Duck out of Memphis. Wasn't that a couple of DJs?
Rick Dees.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Rick Dees.
I
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm
something
going to
about
go with your
swimmers.
guess.
Yeah.
That sounds reasonable.
Both.
Yeah.
Maybe they both swam at the same college. We'll say that.
Yeah, we'll say that something swimming connected.
Yeah. How close we get, Patrick?
You would be incorrect.
Okay.
They
All right.
both shared the same hometown, and it was a town about 90 miles east of Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania called Windber, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Johnny Weissmuller, and you are going back. You're going back about 60 years, right? So
Maybe more. He's
70.
probably
Johnny
20s.
Weissmuller played Tarzan in the 30s.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So did they know each other growing up, or just had the same hometown?
They just had the same hometown.
Well, that's pretty good. Two people like that coming from a small town. Hey, thank you, Patrick. Have a great weekend.
Johnny Weissmuller. I used to be able to
Do
do
the Tarzan,
the Tarzan
yeah, do it.
yell, but no, I can't anymore. My voice is shot.
Right.
I used to get up that kind of high.
When you
with
said those years of singing soprano in the church choir,
Yeah.
I knew that was risky for you, Ed.
Yes.
You've damaged,
You damaged your vocal
cord.
cords.
Here it
Ed.
is.
That's
I
right.
I used to be able to get up because you have to get up pretty high in that Tarzan yell.
I tell you who can do a Tarzan yell better than Tarzan?
Who?
Carol Burnett.
She really can.
Huh? You ever heard her do
No,
it?
are you
I
being
have.
serious?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was known for that.
They did a
On her show.
commercial once, and they had a glass shatter.
We'll
when
see if
she
we
was
can
doing
find
it.
that
Oh,
during
no,
the
wait.
break.
That was Memorex.
We're going to take a short break right here. We'll be back. Get back to your calls here on Trivia Friday. We'll repeat our questions that have
Heretofore.
gone unanswered.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildman.
In more than one place in my reading, I've come across a story which I feel is worth sharing. It happened in Russia several years ago. The Tsar came across a sentry standing at a secluded spot in the palace gardens. The Tsar could not understand the purpose of the guard. The spot had no military significance, and there was no danger to the Tsar in that location. Wondering about the reason behind the guard's presence at that location, the Tsar asked him his purpose. "Sergeant, what are you guarding?" Back came a quick reply from the guard. "I do not know, sir. I was merely assigned to this position by the captain of the guard." Well, the Tsar proceeded to call in the captain of the guard and ask him why there was a sentry in the middle of his gardens. "I do not know, sir. I was merely told to place a guard there by the previous captain of the guard." Becoming more puzzled and intrigued by the presence of a sentry in his gardens, the Tsar ordered research into the matter. Those responsible for dealing with research into such matters were put to work. After some time in searching the records, they learned that more than 100 years earlier, Catherine the Great had planted a rose bush at the spot where the guard stood and ordered a sentry post at that spot to protect the plant. So for more than 100 years, a guard had assumed his post, protecting he knew not what, a rose bush which no longer existed. How strong and equally silly sometimes are some of our traditions. We accept things past generations have passed down to us, never pausing long enough to ask why. Now, we must not, in our haste, throw out tradition simply because it is tradition. To do so would be a very foolish thing. Many traditions have a solid base and provide an effective purpose. But we must always be willing to question tradition in order that we can examine its purpose and usefulness. Tradition must never be accepted simply because it is tradition. Someone has coined the 7 last words of an institution as these: "We have always done it this way." Common sense allows us to see that it's not the institution that lives in the past, but the one that is in touch with the present and planning for the future that remains a vital element of society. The institution that is ruled by tradition soon ceases to exist, and rightfully so. The Galilean encouraged this attitude toward questioning tradition. On a hillside near the Sea of Galilee, he told his followers, "You've heard it said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, do not take revenge on one who does you wrong." Then he spoke again. "You've heard it said, love your friends and hate your enemies. But I say to you, love your enemies." You know, we could go on and on with examples, but just a casual reading of the Gospels will verify the fact that Jesus did not accept tradition simply because it was tradition. Let us not be hasty in destroying our traditions, but let us always be willing to question tradition. Who knows? We might find a few more dead rose bushes being guarded.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildman, a production of the American Family Association.
For he has rescued us from the dominion of darkness and brought us into the kingdom of the Son he loves. Colossians 1:13.
American Family Radio.
All right,
that's the original.
No,
Tarzan yell.
they used Carol Burnett's voice dubbed over him doing that.
That is the television series Tarzan with Ron Ely as the main actor, but they used the Johnny Weissmuller Tarzan call in the show. And so that was Johnny Weissmuller's voice doing the call. Now we're going to play for you Carol Burnett.
Hey,
that's pretty close.
Good.
Better than I can
That's
do
right.
now. So,
Carol Burnett does Johnny Weissmuller does Tarzan.
I do that out on the porch every morning when I wake up. But, I did. I'm not allowed to really comment till after the court case is over.
that's right. Your neighbors have had a little running disagreement.
That HOA thing, boy, it'll bite you more often than not.
Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. You're listening to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. We also call this Learning University. We also call this Learning University. It's on the air. Learning University, and we're professors here at this fine educational institution of higher learning. And Ed, JJ, and Tim, and we're about to repeat our questions, fellas.
All right, here I have to add one. On the TV sitcom My Three Sons.
My Three Sons.
How many sons did Father Stephen Douglas originally have on the program? And then second
One of them have a
question.
gambling problem or or have to be sent off to a home or something? Or that's part of the question.
That's no, it's not part of the question. I just like to, when families struggle, I don't like to just, throw their struggles out in public. So
sure.
I'm not going to mention what happened to Stephen.
Okay.
Somebody else.
All right.
Stephen Douglas.
How many did he have?
Originally.
Second
question. By episode count, what was the longest running live action sitcom in American history? And I'll add a Bible question. In what city mentioned in the New Testament does it say that the Christians were noble-minded enough to examine the scriptures to see whether the teaching was true? In the Bible, in what city does it say that the Christians were noble-minded enough to examine the scriptures to see whether the teaching was true?
That's good. Here's what I've got. First question, what is pickled cabbage commonly called? What is pickled cabbage commonly called? Second question, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Monday is Columbus Day. Here's my question. Name the 3 ships in his fleet. Third question, true or false? Again, got several Columbus Day questions.
Mm-hmm.
True or false? Christopher Columbus was not his real name. The name on his birth certificate was Cristoforo Colombo, and he was also referred to by himself and others as Christovam, and Christophorus. Is that true or false?
I thought Christovam was a superhero.
Yeah. Yeah, look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane.
One of them called him the Christmeister.
Christmeister, the Christo guy.
He missed an opportunity to add 3 or 4 more on their Christorama. I think we played Christorama right there. It was right next to Froggy and the Space Invaders. When you get through with that Christorama, I need to borrow a quarter from one of y'all.
That's right.
All right, here are my 3 questions. Number one, let's see. Number one, the 3 largest metropolitan areas in the U.S. are New York, L.A., and Chicago. There are the next 2 largest both have over 7 million people, and they're the only areas with 7 million people. So I want to know what they are. The 4th and 5th largest metropolitan areas. When I say metropolitan, I mean the greater area, not just the city proper. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Number 2. The University of Texas and the University of Oklahoma will play tomorrow in their annual game in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl. It's a great tradition in college football. I want to know what that game is referred to as and why. I want to know what that game is referred to as and why. Like Alabama Auburn is referred to as the Iron Bowl.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Now they're playing in the Crystal Dome, right?
I thought the game was called the Christovama, but
no.
Christovama.
Hey, you guys don't be messing with college football. Okay,
that's not even anything to mock.
This is a serious question.
Yes, that's right. It's the South where we live, and we're talking about college football.
That's right. Number 3, what state produces the most cherries?
Wow, question with a cherry on top.
Bada boom. Back to the phones, Ed.
All right. We go to Mississippi, and Dominique is on the line. I think I got your name right, Dominique. Welcome to Trivia Friday.
Yes.
Did I get your name right, Dominique?
Yes, it's Dominique.
Okay. Well, welcome to Trivia Friday. Would you like to ask, answer, or do both?
Yeah.
You there, Dominique? Dominique. Okay.
I don't hear him.
I don't hear
him.
Does
he hear us? Hey, Dominique.
Hello. Going once.
All right. He doesn't.
Going twice.
We don't have a connection. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
All right, back to the phone.
All right, we go to Arkansas, and David is on the line. David, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Top of the morning to you guys.
Hey, thank you, David. Same to you, man. Where are you calling from in Arkansas?
Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Okay.
Good area.
Fayetteville. The Razorbacks play Ole Miss tomorrow, don't they, I think?
in the Christovomic
Yeah.
Bowl.
You don't
Sorry,
sound,
I made a mistake there by
We're going to play.
David doesn't sound too encouraged there. You're going to show up. All right. All right, David, which question do you want to ask, answer, or do both?
I'd like to do both, please.
Okay, which one do you want to answer?
The people that were called to examine the Bible.
All right, David, the question is, in what city mentioned in the New Testament does it say that the Christians were noble-minded enough to examine the Scriptures to see whether the teaching was true? And you say?
The Bereans.
It was. The
All right.
city was Berea.
Yes.
And it says the Bereans were noble-minded and examined the Scriptures to see whether the teaching was true, something that we should all be careful
Amen.
to emulate.
Good.
So,
Amen.
good work,
Yeah,
David.
way to go, David. That's impressive.
Yeehaw.
What's your question for us?
All right. Lucille Ball, the actress. During the war, how was she able to foil a Japanese plot?
Now you're talking about Lucille
This is
Ball,
a-
the actress, right?
Yes.
All right.
Married to Desi Arnaz or whatever.
So she foiled a Japanese plot. This kind of
This
rings
is
a
a true
bell,
story.
but I can't. I'm having a
Hey,
hard.
was she associated with that Tokyo Rose thing? Was that completely different? I'm just shooting. I'm just.
Right.
I'm just.
Yeah,
And I'm wondering, like,
Spitballing
was she
here.
part of a USO tour and, able to glean some information to thwart that? But I'm like, Tim, I'm just
Yeah, I don't know.
throwing some stuff out to see what sticks.
Go ahead. Why don't you throw
I don't-
something out? Yeah. Just make up something out of thin air. That's what.
Make some.
That's what we
I can't
did.
even. I can't even come up with anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think there's a Kevin McCarthy connection. If you could,
Yes.
if you could
Or a
squint
Kevin Bacon
and
connection.
stand on one foot. Hey, we don't really know, but we're throwing out a couple vague things, David. Tell us the answer.
Okay. Lucille Ball had went to her dentist to get a cavity filled. And so she did. And so then she was driving her car across country or whatever, across somewhere, and she heard this sound coming like from the air, but it was like the radio wasn't on or something like that. It was just like weird how she was just kicking this up and she didn't know what it was. And she drove on a little farther or whatever, and the sound went away. And so anyway, then she was driving at a later date, and she was driving, and she heard this like Morse code or whatever, click, dot, 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 dash, or whatever type deal. And so she still didn't know what that was. But anyway, she got in touch with like an FBI or person that was in authority or whatever type deal and told them about this. And they used her to pinpoint kind of where that sound was originating from. And there was Japanese spies like in a basement of a house.
Wow.
And they were sending out Morse code or whatever type deal to Japan, and it was coming through on her tooth, something about what they put into it or picked up the signal. But
That's remarkable.
strange as that is, that's a true story.
Yeah, I think though, David, if you research that, that was actually Mexican radio that she was listening to. No.
Mexican
nothing
radio.
to do with it, huh? Mexican radio.
Late
You know how you
night.
get Mexican radio at night?
And it's called
Right, so
Skip.
Ed's typing that in to
I
look that
believe
up.
it.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen,
I believe
this
David.
says
Yeah.
soon after a Japanese sub shelled California in 1942, Lucy claimed that her dental work picked up mysterious signals that revealed a secret radio station being operated by Japanese spies. This says the story has never been verified, but I'm just going to verify
David
it right
verified
now.
it.
Yes,
David
that's right.
verified it, so
I believe it's true. Yeah,
Wait a minute. This had something to do with her filling?
sure.
yes.
Yeah, I told you we had a baby monitor in one of our babies in the middle room, and we have a Natchez Trace. When people were going down the Natchez Trace when cell phones just came out, we could hear their conversation through the baby monitor. So if that can happen, you can hear Japanese sending out Morse code from the basement from the filling in your tooth.
David, where did you first hear that? Where did you hear that story?
I was watching. There's a series on TV, like Fact and Fiction or whatever. Don Wildman does it, and he had that on there several months ago. And I've been trying to get in, and it's the first time I've gotten.
Hey, that's great.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
David, appreciate it. I'm just going to say David's right, because here's another example of this. Many Americans are familiar with this concept as the plot of a classic episode of the sitcom Gilligan's Island, in which Gilligan became a walking radio receiver after the skipper accidentally pushed a crate into his jaw. So there you go.
Yeah.
It happened on Gilligan's Island.
It can happen.
That's right.
It can happen.
Don't mock what you don't understand.
That's right.
Hey, there's the moral to that story right there.
Yeah. So next time you go to the dentist, you could be saving our country.
That's
right.
That's right. Or listening to the top 40, whichever could. No, listen, Lucille Ball apparently told that story as being true. So anyway. All right. Shall I move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to go back to Arkansas, if that's okay with you, fellas.
Fine with me.
All right. We're Dwayne. Dwayne is on the line. Dwayne, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hello.
Hey, Dwayne. How you doing, brother?
Doing fine. How are you gentlemen this morning?
Doing well.
We're blessed, buddy.
Where are you in Arkansas?
I'm in a small town in South Arkansas called Strong. We have a nickname of Stout City.
Oh,
I like it.
I like that.
All right.
Is that near? What's that near? The town?
We're about midway between El Dorado and Crossett.
Okay.
Well, all right. So let me ask.
We're only a few miles from the Louisiana line in South Arkansas.
Okay.
So small town.
So I remember Boston Strong. Y'all remember Boston Strong? So Dwayne's town would be Strong. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Strong.
No, it's bad.
Hey, we're strong. All right, Dwayne.
Stretch.
It's a stretch.
Arm.
Stretch Armstrong. I like that. All right, you want to ask, answer, or do both, Dwayne?
I'd like to do both. Before I start, I'd like to make a comment. Some months ago, I managed to catch the show on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
I managed to watch the show instead of just listen.
Yes, sir.
And quite honestly, my world was rocked because I was always of the opinion, or at least the understanding, that superheroes never grow old.
I like where you're going.
Yeah, me too.
And then I know we're going to read.
I can see you gentlemen are in the same boat I'm in. You've got some decades on you.
We're getting a little long in the tooth.
Yeah, Superman doesn't throw out his back.
Right.
Hey, honestly, I spoke somewhere the other day, and a guy came up to me, and he's an avid listener, and he said, I got to tell you, you sound a lot younger on the radio. I expected a much younger man. And I was thinking to myself about it and said, tell me what you really think.
Yes. Well, Dwayne, hey, listen, thank you for at least addressing us as superheroes at one point in our lives.
Right.
So we do appreciate that. All right. You want to ask, answer, or do both?
I'd like to do both.
All right. Which question you want to answer?
It's Columbus fleet.
Yes, sir. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. The school children can tell you that. Monday is Columbus Day. It's actually the second Monday of October. But my question, name the 3 ships in his fleet, Dwayne.
That was the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria.
Nicely done.
I was going to say the Alexandria, the Ocasio, and the Cortez.
Oh, I
that was
like
be,
it. I
was way off.
And there's the deal.
Tonight.
Ralph Nader said that Pinto boat of his was unsafe at any speed. You come up behind that thing and run into it, the gas tank would explode.
Yeah.
Hey, you did good there. You
Bento.
remember that from your 5th grade?
Yeah. Actually, just a history question I actually remembered. Had an excellent history teacher, I guess.
Yeah.
Good on your history teacher. That's great.
All right.
What's your question for us?
All right. In this day and time, we've got a lot of super chefs, celebrity chefs, cooking shows, and whatnot. I'm going to name you 4 old TV shows and see if you can name the cooks off of at least 3 of them.
Okay.
And those shows would be Bonanza, Wagon Train, Rawhide, and The Big Valley.
Now, on Bonanza, I think it was a Chinese fella.
Hop Sing.
Hop Sing. That's who we're going to get one,
yeah,
right?
okay,
Is that right?
Got one right.
Now, tell us the other 3 shows again, please.
Wagon Train, Rawhide, and Big Valley.
Okay, on Wagon Train,
that older fella,
the cook was low key.
No, he's an older guy with a real good personality, real old and scrappy. That might have been Rawhide.
I don't know the answer to any of the others.
Could have described either one.
Let's see.
Yeah, they were always kind of ornery.
Yeah, ornery. He had on his like a little bit of a apron.
I think Rawhide was Johnny Weissmuller. I think that was after, the swimming thing.
Lucille Ball.
That's right.
Hey, we don't know. We don't know the answer, right?
Yeah, great trivia, though.
Answer it for us. Answer it for us.
Okay. Well, you're right. On Bonanza, it was Hop Sing.
Yeah.
On Wagon Train, it was a gentleman by the name of Charlie Wooster. On Rawhide, it was Wishbone. And on the Big Valley, it was a gentleman by the name of Silas.
Did any of those actors ever go on to stardom?
Well, I thought Wishbone and Charlie Wooster starred where they were.
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't think they did anything anywhere else.
Maybe not stardom, but Charlie Wooster. That sauce he came up with, that was a big hit.
Yeah.
You put that on steak, and that gives it the just right. You can't pronounce it, but it makes that steak taste so much better.
But it starts with Wooster, though, doesn't it?
Sure does. I know that much.
All right.
All right, thank you, Brother Dwayne. Thank you for calling, man.
You have a great
Appreciate
weekend.
it. We got time. Let's repeat our questions real quick.
All right, now I will have to add another one. I've had
You had another one, Ed.
I will.
Feel free
I'm bad.
to.
All right, on the TV sitcom My 3 Sons, how many sons did Father Stephen Douglas originally have?
I need to know the backstory, too, to that one. You got it?
The backstory?
I mean, I want to know what happened.
Oh, yeah. No,
Off the
I
air,
got you.
since you said it's scandalous.
Yes. Second question. By episode count, what was the longest-running live-action sitcom in American history? And I will add one. In what country was the Rubik's Cube invented? Y'all know the colorful cube. You try to get them all the colors to match.
That thing's gone.
I was terrible at it.
Yeah.
In what country was the Rubik's Cube invented?
Here's what I've got. First question. What is pickled cabbage commonly called? What is pickled cabbage commonly called? Second question. True or false, Christopher Columbus was not his real name. The name on his birth certificate is Cristoforo Colombo, and he also went by Christovam and Christophorus. Is that true or false? And I'll add another Columbus Day question since Monday is Columbus Day. I don't know if you guys know this. 23 of the 50 U.S. states have a city named Columbus. And in fact, there are 6,000 places in America named after Columbus. Counties, even the District of Columbia, that's named after Columbus. Parks, everything else. But out of the many cities in America named after Columbus, I want you to name the largest U.S. city named after Columbus. What is the largest U.S. city named after Columbus?
Wow, good. Excellent.
Me?
Right to you.
All right, so New York, L.A., Chicago, that's the largest. By population, those are the largest 3 in order metropolitan areas in America. I want to know the next 2. The next 2 largest metropolitan places in America, they are both between 7 and 8 million people. Number 2, the Texas-Oklahoma football game will be played tomorrow in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl. I want to know what this game is referred to as, and also why. I want to know what this game is referred to as, and why. And finally, which state produces the most berries? The most cherries. Which state produces the most cherries? Who you waving at?
I was waving at my grandson. My wife just texted and
said
my 18-month-old grandson was watching.
Here, you're supposed to do it like this right here. That's
like this.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to throw gang signs.
Here's what kids do today right here. Huh? Am I right?
I think
you're thinking about Christovam and Christophorus.
I don't have a rap. Anyway, this is what they do with their hands.
Yeah.
And they do
That's
it over
what
and over
the young
again.
kids do
You got to turn
today.
your hat sideways.
Yeah, not backwards.
Yeah. Anyway.
Backwards hat.
All right, where do we go now?
All right, we're going to go to Iowa. What do you say, fellas?
Iowa.
Been a while
Iowa.
since we've been to Iowa.
The land of bacon.
Laura is on the line. Laura, welcome to Trivia Friday, and I hope the bacon and the biscuits are ready.
I had the eggs this morning anyway.
There you go.
What I'm talking about.
Hey, Laura, I'm going to be in Mason City, Iowa, next spring, March the 23rd. So mark that on your calendar and come out and laugh. We'll laugh
good
together.
memory.
How close are you to Mason?
Oh, I'm not sure. Is that a couple hours away?
I was there 8 years ago, and it was the most fun time I ever had. It was in the new auditorium of the community college, and that's where it's going to be.
Where do you live, Laura?
I live in Dubuque.
In Dubuque.
The tri-state.
Yes.
Right on along the Mississippi with Wisconsin and Illinois.
Well, Laura,
I wish you guys had more insurance companies there, but I mean, you can't have everything.
JJ was there 8 years ago, but now that the statute of limitations is up, he will be back.
He can go back.
So.
That's funny.
Hey, I have a quick thing. My son was commenting on Lucille Ball. He was wondering if she had the first Bluetooth.
Oh,
that's actually very clever.
Yeah,
I like
you need
that.
to make sure he gets credit for that when that gets popular, when it turns into a meme.
Bluetooth. All right, Laura, you want to ask, answer, or do both?
I'm going to answer.
All right.
A couple of them taken already, but I'm thinking the one about the cabbage, pickled cabbage.
Yes, ma'am. Here's the question. What is pickled cabbage commonly called?
Do cabbage have drinking problems?
What is
I didn't know.
pickled-
Who knew that?
What is pickled cabbage commonly called?
Easy to go astray in life, folks.
Yeah, what is pickled cabbage commonly called?
I think it's sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut. Yeah.
Sauerkraut.
And you know, some things just really go together. Burgers and fries. And when we were in school, we had sauerkraut and weenies.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine sauerkraut in a pile by itself because sauerkraut
and carrots
and weenies just really
Laura,
go together good.
Laura, do you like sauerkraut?
I like some of it, yes. I would. My mother used to make it with like a pork roast or pork chops.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's,
I like
so
it.
So sauerkraut is pickled lettuce. I mean,
no, pickled cabbage. It may be an acquired taste, but
I
liked
like it. You got to have
Yeah.
some mustard on it.
Hey, did you have a question for us, Laura?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, Laura, thanks for calling and playing trivia, and you have a wonderful day there in Dubuque. Okay.
Have a good weekend.
Say hi to your grandson. That was
Tim, you
clever.
like sauerkraut? You didn't really weigh in.
You
wouldn't order it off the menu, but did you eat it
I'm not
in the cafeteria as a kid?
No, it's all right. I
Traded somebody for whatever they have on their
that's
plate.
right.
You can have my
for the
corn.
fake hamburger. They think they fooled us. They didn't fool anybody. Soybean hamburger. Give me a break. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
So I found a dress for the party. Awesome. Not really. I went to try it on, but Emma, there was a man in there.
A man?
I told customer service, but they said it's our policy.
What?
Target allows men into women's restrooms and changing areas. The American Family Association is calling for a boycott of Target until they reverse this misguided policy. Sign the pledge at afa.net.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Steve Pugh. Migrants are continuing to cross into the country along the southern border in Texas. Jeff Paul has more from Eagle Pass, Texas.
We continue to see those large groups of migrants arrive to locations like where we're at here in Eagle Pass, Texas, and there really aren't any signs of it stopping anytime soon. And it's the same situation up and down the southern border, especially in the Rio Grande Valley. That's where this new 20-mile stretch of border wall is set to be built. The Department of Homeland Security says this is a busy sector that is seeing high illegal entry, roughly 250,000 illegal crossings this budget year so far.
An Immigration Border Enforcement Organization says more than 2.5 years and some 9 million illegal entries later, the Biden administration is finally getting it. Chad Groening has more.
In a stunning reversal, the Biden administration is now acknowledging that we have a very serious problem along our southern border and that physical barriers are needed to stem the flow of illegal immigration into the United States. The Department of Homeland Security has announced that it will take such actions as may be necessary to install additional physical barriers and roads in the vicinity of the United States border to deter illegal crossings in areas of, quote, high illegal entry into the United States. Ira Melman is a spokesman for the Federation for American Immigration Reform, or FAIR.
You think it has something to do with the fact that the president's reelection date is just 13 months from now, and he's taken a beating in the polls over the migrant crisis? That may have something to do with it.
Melman says this is clearly a policy reversal.
On day one of his administration, President Biden canceled the construction of the wall. They have steadfastly refused to build any more of it. They have steadfastly refused to even acknowledge that there is a crisis at the border. And now all of a sudden, they've decided that maybe it is a good idea to build a wall. And it is a good idea. It's about 9 million illegal crossings too late.
Melman says it is tragic that the crisis at the border and its effect on communities all across the country had to reach this point before the administration decided it is time to act. He says having made that call, they need to go all in by completing the border wall and reversing all of the failed policies that got us to this point. I'm Chad Groening.
The United Auto Workers strike could expand this afternoon. Grady Trimble is in Centerline, Michigan.
So far, workers have walked out at parts plants and plants that make mid-size SUVs and smaller pickup trucks. But depending on how talks are going, the union could hit plants that make more profitable, larger pickups and SUVs next. The ball is in the union's court. All three of the automakers are waiting for the UAW's response to their latest proposals. We know that General Motors put forward a new offer. They're sixth since these negotiations started earlier this week. The two sides have made progress in some key areas.
Meanwhile, it's day 3 of the largest healthcare strike in U.S. history.
Outside the LA Medical Center, which is one of Kaiser Permanente's biggest facilities, there is a large and passionate crowd of workers who have walked out. This is day 3 of a planned 3-day total strike. It would end at 6 a.m. Saturday, but they are already planning further action if Kaiser Permanente doesn't opt the offers it has so far made. The Kaiser workers say they do not want to be out on strike. They'd rather be looking after their patients, but at this point they say they have no choice.
Jonathan Hunt reporting from Los Angeles. And finally, top U.S. airlines are inspecting their fleets for substandard parts in their jet engines. Therese Crowley has more.
Several major U.S. airlines report they have discovered and replaced parts in jet engines with forged safety certificates, leading to a lawsuit against a London parts supplier, AOG Technics. The parts discovered in engine overhauls and replaced. Delta reported them in a small number of their fleet of 2,100. Wall Street Journal reports 126 jet engines with the substandard parts were discovered industry-wide. Just 1 or 2 at Southwest and United. The issue first discovered in June, GE jet engines filed a lawsuit. Pilots say the concern is jet engine blades flying apart and puncturing the cabin.
More news online at afn.net and download the AFN mobile app. Namaste.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jessica Peck, host of the Dr. Nurse Mama radio show, beginning daily October 16th on AFR. I'll serve as your expert guide to engage, equip, encourage, and empower you to navigate life's toughest issues with your family. The show begins October 16th, and I can hardly wait to prescribe hope for healthy families. I'll see you there.
This is Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840. Now, back to more Trivia Friday.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. Hope you're having a nice day. Looking forward to a wonderful weekend. It is Friday, October the 6th. I'm Tim Wildman with Ed Battagliano and J.J. Jasper, and you're listening to American Family Radio.
This is the pumpkin spice edition of Trivia Friday. I mean, it's October. We have to do that.
Yes, we do.
It's federal law now.
Yeah, our listeners demand it.
Yeah, well, pumpkin spice deodorant.
Everything's pumpkin spice this month.
Toothpaste, lattes, yeah, everything. It's like kudzu in the South.
I had
can't
pumpkin
avoid it.
spice spaghetti on Tuesday night.
Oh, man.
That
Hey,
was
listen, I agreed not to make fun of college football. The least you could do is not make fun of spaghetti.
Okay.
When you said
Yes.
Tuesday, you missed a good chance to say tacos.
Your taco.
Pumpkin spice tacos.
Oh.
Yes, that makes me hungry.
Oh, man.
All right, back to the phones, Ed.
All right, let's go to Kansas.
Uh-huh.
And Evan is on the line, or maybe Yvonne. I'm not sure. Welcome to Trivia Friday. Did I mispronounce your name? Is it Evan or Yvonne?
Yvonne.
Yvonne. Well, okay, so I was wrong. Either way. Well, Yvonne, thank you so much for being patient with my pronunciation skills, and welcome to Trivia Friday. Where in Kansas do you live?
Thank you. In a little town called Marion.
Marion. Okay.
Which is near where?
It's 60 miles northeast of Wichita.
All right.
Northeast? Like in the Flint Hills?
No, we're near that, close to that. Yeah, we have a population of almost 2,000. Yeehaw!
So you were on Hee-Haw.
We're standing up in the cornfield in our minds, Yvonne.
Buck Owens did call your name.
And a lot of people don't know this, Yvonne. Rand McNally calls Tim Wildman to get some of the advice about geography and highways and everything.
We're in awe.
And so they'll call. They have Tim's number, and they're
right.
Yeah. Ask, answer, or do both, dear.
Both.
Which one you want to answer?
The Texas OU Cotton Bowl.
Okay, Yvonne, here it is. Texas and Oklahoma will play tomorrow in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl in their annual football rivalry. What is this game known as, and why?
I'm going to guess Red River Showdown or Rivalry.
That is correct.
Wow.
Absolutely. The Red River Showdown, whatever you want to call it, but Red River. Now, the second part of that question, I'm just going to be generous today.
Yeah.
We haven't given one away yet, have we?
No.
Okay, so for a AFR travel mug, stainless steel, it's an heirloom. It will be an heirloom in your family for decades to come.
Generations
to come.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who gets the jewelry, but whoever gets this stainless steel tumbler, they're going to be jealous and nearly fight over it. Make sure you mention it by name in your will.
Okay, so what's the reason the game is called the Red River Shootout?
No, I'm completely taking a stab at it. I believe because the Red River separates Texas from Oklahoma.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Hey, we need
Way
to hear
to
that
go.
cowbell.
Yeah. Way to go. Bring it, Yvonne.
You know, every time we go from Kansas to Texas,
right?
When we cross that river, we go, No, when we're coming back to Kansas.
Right.
When we cross that river, we sing Oklahoma.
I'm so
Yeah,
glad I
sing the rest of it or just that one word?
Right.
I'm so glad I didn't blurt
Well,
out.
my husband will sing the rest of it. I only say Oklahoma.
Yes. For those who don't know, who live in other parts of the country, most people who live in the Texas, Kansas, Oklahoma, they know this, Arkansas. But the Red River is what divides Oklahoma from Texas. Thus, it's called the Red River Shootout when OU plays UT in football.
Big rivalry.
All right.
You know, I'm glad I didn't blurt out an answer because I was going to say I did a ride and say it had something to do with getting insulin to little villages with a mush team. I'd have been way off.
Yeah, way off. Hey, the other thing, interesting thing about this, of course, everybody knows I'm a big college football fan, and I'm going to watch. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to watch this game tomorrow. But OU in Texas play at the Cotton Bowl. They don't play at Jerry's World, which is where the Cowboys play.
Right.
They've always played at the Cotton Bowl, which is an old, historic stadium.
Yeah.
But it's the same time as the Texas State Fair is going on.
Every year.
So every year. Texas State Fair goes on. I don't know how long that lasts. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. I don't know how long it lasts. And I've been there.
So they feed each other.
I've been there.
Those two
I've seen.
events.
I haven't been to the Texas State Fair, but I've been to the Cotton Bowl and watched the game. And it's like I said, it's a history. I want to say before. I know I'm giving probably more than people want to know, but I think before the Cowboys played in before they built the stadium in Arlington, they played in Irving. I don't know if the Cowboys or the NFL team that was in Dallas played at the Cotton Bowl or not, but I would guess they would.
You said giving too much info. This is interesting to me. Now, you're saying the reason they stay in the historic stadium because the other one's being used. How come they don't just move the date?
No, it's for history and tradition.
Okay.
And the State Fair is there on the grounds where the Cotton Bowl is.
Okay.
So it's just tradition.
So they feed each other. So there'll be the people who are coming to watch the game will also probably head over to the Texas Fair when they're done, and it probably bumps their numbers.
Yeah, the 50-50, it's a 50-50 crowd. That's what makes it also interesting. It's 50% OU, 50% Texas. Anyway,
yeah,
Yvonne, there you go. You have a question for us?
Yes, I do. Now, staying on the lines of OU, my husband and I were talking about it. I asked him, what does Sooner mean? I didn't know what a Sooner was. Do you?
Boomer Sooner is the battle cry for the Oklahoma football team or their sports teams.
Yeah.
What a Sooner you're asking?
Yeah, where's it come from?
No, do you know where the name comes from? Sooner.
I do, but go ahead.
I thought it was the wagons when they traveled out west. They called them Sooners.
Get there sooner. Get there sooner. Stake your land out.
Right.
Stake your land out.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like
they did a race. Yeah, they did a race in 1889 to claim settlements, and the horses, the wagons, whatever, feet, they would race to get their land.
Yeah.
And whoever got there sooner,
right,
got the land.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Hey, Yvonne, stay on the line because we want to send you this tumbler. And I know you woke up this morning and you didn't think you were going to win anything, but this really is, all jokes aside, a real nice stainless steel AFR tumbler. Hey, you are delightful. Stay on the line so they can get your address. God bless you. Have a great weekend.
Well, she was just
sweet lady,
just bubbly,
and yeah, and we learned a lot.
Yeah. All right.
I'm like that.
You bubbly
and sweet. And I mean, why are you laughing?
No, listen,
I get that a lot. I'm just saying I get that a lot.
And I would describe you as bubbly. That's just.
I get, people say I'm bubbly. I don't know what to say back.
You just say thank you.
I just say
that's
thank you.
it. Thank you for your honesty.
Gives you a compliment. You just say thank you.
All right, Trivia Friday on American Family Radio, and let's repeat our questions for the last time today, and let's don't add any new ones.
All right.
I think just stick with
I
what we
still
got.
have three. So.
Okay.
On the TV sitcom My Three Sons, how many sons did Father Stephen Douglas originally have? Second question, by episode count, what was the longest-running live-action sitcom in American history? And third question, in what country was the Rubik's Cube invented? That's all I've got.
Here's what I've got. First question, true or false? Christopher Columbus was not his real name.
I don't think we're going to get this one.
The name on his was 50-50.
Think? Oh, it's 50-50?
Yeah,
Okay.
name on his birth certificate is Cristoforo Colombo, and he was also went by Christopham and Christophorus. Is that true or false? Next question.
Did you say Christopherson?
Yeah.
Like Chris Christopherson?
Yeah. Christophorus.
Oh, Christophorus.
Yeah, it was actually one of the characters in the Muppets. The one that had a couple of snouts or something. Christophorus, real puffy and made of fabric.
Real, as all those puppets
it's
were.
Kind of bubbly, wasn't
it? So my next question is about Columbus Day. 23 of the 50 U.S. states have a city named after Christopher Columbus, Christopham. Name the largest U.S. city. A couple of cities come to mind immediately. What is the largest in population city in America named after Christopher Columbus?
My two questions are here. The largest metropolitan areas in the U.S. by population, according to the 2022 census, are New York, L.A., and Chicago. I want to know the next two most populous metropolitan areas in America. I said America. And I'll just give this hint because this is going unanswered. We're running out of time. We got 14 minutes. These two metropolitan areas are in the same state.
Oh.
Got it?
That's interesting.
Yeah. All right, so number two, which state produces the most cherries? This is the cherry capital of America. This state, I want to know what it is. Which state is it? So let's go back to the phone.
All right, we're going to go back to Ohio, and we got another Dwayne on the air. Dwayne, welcome.
It's Dwayne Day here.
It's Dwayne Day. Welcome to Trivia Friday.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dwayne. So where do you live in Ohio?
Good afternoon.
Pardon me?
It's good afternoon for me. Good morning for you.
That's right, sir. That's right, Eastern time zone. Correct. Is that Louisville? You go to Louisville North? Where's the dividing line for Eastern and?
It goes all the way down.
Is it Indiana, Ohio?
You got Louisville, Indiana, and just
that's
everything
Central time zone, right?
East of that is Eastern.
All of Ohio is in the Eastern time zone.
That's correct.
Yeah. All right, brother. Ask, answer, or both?
Both.
All right, which one do you want to answer?
I'll take your question for $1,000, and that is
yes.
The at least as my memory serves me, about 15 years ago, the next two largest cities, metropolitan areas.
Okay, you got New York, L.A., Chicago, and then what?
Houston and Dallas-Fort Worth.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Nicely
Now,
done.
Forgot about Houston.
let me just tell you this real quickly. This is the 2022 census. New York, L.A., and Chicago are losing people.
What?
Oh, yeah, I know.
shocked.
From 2020 census to 2022, it's noticeable. I won't give you the numbers. Take too long. Big losses in population for New York, L.A., and Chicago. Dallas-Fort Worth is almost at 8 million people. They gained 300,000 in 2 years. And then Houston, it's called Houston, Pasadena, the Woodlands. That's how it's known as.
Okay.
For this, they're at almost 7.4 million people in that the greater Houston area. And then after that, it'll be D.C., Washington, D.C., but they're way down at 6.2 million. I'm just saying Houston and Dallas-Fort Worth, they're really growing.
Wow.
Yes. Anyway, there you go, Dwayne. Good answer, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, bring it.
I don't hear any bells.
Yeah.
No bells.
No.
No, I'm sorry.
No, but
We can't all,
All right, here's my question.
be winners.
What,
Not that you're a loser.
What character in the Bible killed off approximately an estimated 1/4 of the world's population, and when he died, he was buried in his grandmother?
Say the question again. I've got the answer, but I want our listeners to hear the question.
The a character in the Bible who killed off approximately a quarter of the world's population, and when he died, he was buried in his grandmother?
The answer, boys, it's almost a riddle, because you think about how do you kill off a quarter of the world's population? Cain, when he slew Abel. So that's the answer.
But he was buried in his grandmother.
Yeah, I don't get that. But the answer to the question is Cain, when he slew Abel.
All right.
Explain that other part of that.
I don't know. Samson went pretty crazy.
He went all Old Testament on his enemies. But, hey, what's the answer, Dwayne, is Cain, but explain the buried in his grandmother.
Have you never heard of Mother Earth?
Mother Earth. So hence the riddle.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
nicely done, buddy. Have a great weekend. Thank you for listening to AFR.
Mother Earth. I like that. Because his parents came from the earth.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's sort of
Adam did.
It's a sort of a trivia / riddle.
Yeah.
It's a hybrid.
It is.
It. Hybrid.
Nothing wrong with
That's
the hybrid.
rage these
unless
days.
you're driving one. All right. We go to Texas, and Stella is on the line. Stella, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hello.
Stella?
Yeah.
And
I'm here,
Vitagliano's mother, her name was Stella.
And my granddaughter.
And your granddaughter.
Who's named after my mom.
Yeah, beautiful name there, Stella. Stella, Texas.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And I know you all, I went on the trip to Israel last spring.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, Stella.
Stella and Marcus. You might remember, you might not.
Okay. Well, we had 3 buses. Which bus were you on? Red, blue, or green?
The green bus.
Okay.
Oh, I see you now sitting by the window. We're waving at you.
Yeah. Thanks for
I was on the trip too, Stella. You might not have seen me. I was on the short bus. I wasn't on the green or the blue or.
Hey, Stella, ask, answer, or do both.
I'll do both.
Which one you want to answer?
I will answer the one on the cherries.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, Stella, here's the question. Let me ask the question, and then you can answer it. What state produces the most cherries, Stella?
Michigan.
That's
Michigan.
right.
Nice.
That's
Wow.
right. Now,
I did not know.
How
I
did
didn't
you know that? Look it up.
I knew that because I looked it up.
Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
that's
Nothing
good.
wrong with
No, there's
that.
nothing wrong with
Very
that.
interesting. Only because my other question was answered, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to get me on
Okay.
here, and I'm not doing
No,
that.
that's all right. Research.
I'll give you this factoid about that question. According to the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, the state produces 70% of tart cherries in the U.S. each year.
Wow.
Really?
Michigan is the top cherry-producing state, followed by Oregon and Washington. And we had some. Speaking of our tour to Israel, Stella, a few years ago, for 2 or 3 years in a row, we had this family that went with us they were from Wisconsin, and they lived along the lake there. Is that Lake Michigan? I think it is. I don't. Is that
so many lakes?
Anyway, I'm trying to think. Anyway, they had a big cherry farm, and it was fertile cherry growing. You have to have I don't think you can grow cherries in
Like
a warm climate. I don't think you can. But anyway, Michigan #1, Washington and Oregon 2 and 3.
Wow. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Stella, what's your question for us?
My question is, the Texas Rangers, the guys with the guns, are celebrating a milestone anniversary of their founding this year. How many years have they been in existence?
Okay, again, you got the founding or the headquarters, something in Waco, Texas. The Texas Ranger Museum is in Waco. But now to answer a question.
Stella, we might have different guesses. So don't say yes or no. I'm going to guess 150 years anniversary.
That's a good guess. I'll go with that.
Tim, you got a guess?
No, I'm going to say
hold on just a minute.
Because they've been around a long time.
This question Stella is asking is when is ask the question one more time, Stella.
Okay, they're celebrating an anniversary, a milestone anniversary this year of their founding. They've had all kinds of events throughout Texas.
Okay.
How many years have they been around?
I'm going to say 200.
Okay, don't say anything, Stella. Don't answer yet. So you're saying 150.
I'm saying 150.
Okay, you're saying 200.
Because the West was going strong, even before, as our country was brand new.
if you go back and look in Leviticus.
Here we go.
Huh?
Yeah.
I think
that's a different Ranger. You're thinking of Ford Ranger.
You know what? So you're saying both you guys are saying the Rangers would have been around
a long time.
But before Texas was even a state.
I think they were out, helping the Wild West.
It was independence.
That's right.
It was its independence was
territory.
1845.
All right, I'm going to go 150.
Wait, go 175.
175. I go 175.
Give us all a chance.
Stella.
Okay, 200 years.
Wow.
JJ Jasper.
That's what I'm talking
They were
to.
founded in 1823. The first group were volunteers, and they were under Stephen F. Austin.
Wow! Way to go!
When did way to go, JJ? When did Texas become a state?
Also, 1845.
Let's see, when do,
I mean, it was independence.
I ought to know that. We celebrate every year.
It was under 5 flags. Hey, Stella, we give out mugs. If you could just get me an original Samuel Colt pistol and box that dude up, put a lot of peanuts in there, a lot of packing thing, and send that to me for knowing that. I mean, for the good guess.
Yeah.
That would suffice.
An original. I'm sure it would.
No. I guess
Texas became a state in 1845. So the Rangers, to answer my own question, the Texas Rangers existed prior to Texas even becoming a state.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Excellent.
And really,
Stella.
they haven't been good since Nolan Ryan. If you think about it, you know what I'm saying?
We're all over.
They've had a couple of good years, but
Ford Ranger,
not anything.
Nolan Ryan, the real Texas Rangers. Oh my word!
All right, Stella.
Thank
Thanks for
you,
calling.
Stella. Hey, in all serious, what an amazing group of law.
So the Texas Rangers still exist?
I think they do.
I think they do.
Are they the state
you don't believe
police?
It? Ask Chuck Norris.
Yeah, I think they are the state police. Honestly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you just ask Chuck Norris if you.
Oh, that's right. Chuck, Walker, Texas Ranger.
That's right.
All right.
We got time for one more call.
All right, we go to Louisiana, and Cynthia is on the line. Cynthia, welcome to Trivia Friday. We are kind of up against the end of the program, so would you like to ask, answer, or do both?
Ask a question since we're off at a time.
I'm sorry, what?
Be okay?
Yes, ma'am. Which question
Can you
want to
hear me
answer?
okay?
Yes, we can. Which question you want to answer?
I think I'll just ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and I wanted to say that I got to meet JJ a long time ago, about 5 years ago. He was supposed to stay. He and his family were supposed to stay at our house, but because we have a cat, they weren't able to, and I never resented that cat so much. It was a useless cat.
My wife is deathly allergic to cats.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now,
Yes.
where was that?
I just don't like them.
That was DeRidder, Louisiana. You spoke
that's
at our
right.
church, and
Yes.
we loved you so much. It was just such
Yeah.
a joy, and you were hilarious.
You need to go
And
back.
we continue to have cat problems. The other night, I took the cat's medicine by. Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, you're breaking up.
Cynthia, yeah, you are breaking up, and we are right against the end of the program. Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. So where are 83% of the campers made in the United States?
83% of the campers.
Made in one place.
Do we have to have the town or just the state?
We're out of time. We got to do our own answers.
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Elkhart, Indiana.
Wow.
Elkhart,
That's good to
Indiana.
know.
I'm going to look that up.
Hey, listen, I want to come back to DeRidder. Wonderful people, wonderful place. Thank you.
Sorry we got to rush here.
All right. My three sons originally had 3. Folks, it was easy right there.
Wow.
The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet was the longest-running live-action sitcom in American history. That was the mystery question. And the Rubik's Cube was invented in Hungary.
Biggest Columbus city. Where?
Ohio.
We'll say
Columbus,
DC.
Ohio.
Oh, okay.
And then that Christopher Columbus, true or false? It was true.
It is true.
100% true. As zany and wacky as it sounds.
All right, everybody.
Hey, can I make mention next Thursday I'm going to be in Vicksburg, Mississippi for the Center for Pregnancy Choices Crossway Church. That's next Thursday night.
My wife's aunt passed away, and we received a considerable